Cataclysm! Miraculous! Simply the best! Hi guys, it's Dustin. Thank you so much for parking about with me. I am back with a microphone sock and a dream. And wow, this bell is gonna be hella annoying in this podcast if it keeps on ringing ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling like that. You know what I mean? Yeah, hi. Hi guys. It's been a minute. I feel like I haven't talked to you guys in a while. Even though it's only been like a week technically, but I pre-filmed the first 2 Halloween episodes because I was in Spain, which we're going to get into. That's going to be the entire episode today. We're just going to be talking about Spain and recapping and yeah, just doing little story times here and there. And yeah, this is the Spain episode because I had a little Euro fall, okay? I mean, it kind of felt like summer though because it was just kind of warm over there still. So technically still kind of Euro summer. But it was Eurofall. Also, I'm not going to be wearing my headphones in this episode, so I can't keep track if the audio is good or not. So I'm just going to sit here and hope and pray that the audio is A-okay. Maybe I'll throw on the headphones a little later, but as you can see, I cannot, if you're watching the YouTube, which I highly recommend, because if you did not know the Halloween episodes, of course, I'm wearing a costume every episode, and y'all better come and watch this episode, okay? Because I'm in a full-on superhero suit right now. Actually, let me zip this bad boy up real quick. It kind of chokes me, not gonna lie, because this outfit is low-key, teeny tiny Brandy Melville entrance. But let me zip this up. Ah, fuck. Okay, low-key, it did just pinch my skin, and low-key, it is choking me out just a little bit. So I can't keep this on the entire time. But like, look how cool I look. Oh my gosh. So, I am dressed as Cat Noir today. What y'all know about Cat Noir? What y'all know about Miraculous Ladybug? Now, you may be thinking, like, if you guys even have heard of Miraculous Ladybug, you might be thinking, isn't that a kid show? And yes, it is a kid show. But you know what? That shit's fucking good. That shit's good. I highly recommend you guys watch the show. Destiny put me on, when she was literally a little girl, a little girl watching little kid shows. I started watching that with her and I was like, wait, this is tea. Low-key, the show's tea. Same thing, another show that like is actually really surprisingly good, Sophia the First. Sophia the fucking First. Yeah, my sister loved that show. Yeah, Sophia the First was hella good. I never finished it, but they had like a storyline. It was actually pretty, from what I remember, pretty good. But yeah, Miraculous Ladybug, since I'm blonde now, because here's the thing, like, I feel like being Asian and having black hair, I was always limited in my costumes. But with and like now that I'm blonde, there's so many characters that I can be. Specifically, I can be white boy characters now. I feel like back then, like, before my hair was blonde, I couldn't really be a lot of characters because they're all little white boys, but like Cat Noir, for example. But because I'm fucking blonde, I can be Cat Noir. And I really love the show, and I've always wanted to be Cat Noir, so here I am. I'm Cat Noir. Meow. Meow. Yeah. This bell is hella annoying. I don't know how I'm gonna speak on this podcast with this goddamn bell real quick, but yeah, this costume, got it off Amazon. Y'all know the drill. Gonna be returned after this. Also, it's really tight. I think low-key my neck. Am I bleeding? Because that shit kind of hurt when I pinched it. This is a very like cheap looking and feeling costume. Like, I don't even know. It comes with these like little cuffs. These cuffs, I don't really know what the whole point of this thing is. I feel like there's a lot of extra stuff that I just couldn't really figure out. Now, I feel like this costume would low-key be hella good if I was a big muscular man, but I am not a big muscular man, so it kind of just looks bad. I don't know. Like, I feel like any skin-tight costume, unless you are like a ripped muscular man, it kind of looks bad. Like, I want to be on that Nightwing shit, which low-key, I'm trying to get my boyfriend to dress up as Nightwing, because that'd just be hot as fuck. And he low-key built like that, so I'm like, okay, like, maybe you should get in a Nightwing. I'm like, I don't know, maybe you should get a Nightwing costume. You should dress up as Nightwing, maybe. Or Spider-Man. I just feel like any, like, skin-tight costume, personally, I don't really love these type of costumes on me, because I'm just so skinny. Maybe once I hit this fitness regimen. I'm starting to get back into that again. Maybe once I hit this fitness regimen, get that dream bod, I'll start throwing this shit on. But for now, like, I don't know. I mean, I'm wearing it now because like I'm blonde and I wanted to. But I don't know. This costume definitely ain't going out to the public. You know, I'm not gonna be wearing this to a Halloween party. Okay. Also because I don't have a dance belt, so my dingaling just be there. Yep, and it's cut out from the video right now. Thank God. But yeah, that shit's kind of crazy. Yeah, you got full bulge. It's just right there. You can see it. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So anyway, can we talk about this mask? Can we talk about this mask? This mask is terrible. Y'all seeing this? It's horrid. So bad. It's giving Ariana, it's giving Ariane, okay? Like, something about you. Feel like a dangerous woman. That's what it's kind of giving. Like, Kiyomi, get your ass in here. Like, yeah. Like, early Ari days was my prime time. I think after Sweetener, low-key, I think I fell off a little bit on that shit. But I'm still an Ariana fan. It's just that was my prime time. All right, I'm gonna take off this mask because it's so ugly and uncomfy, and I'm just not fucking with it. So we're taking it off. Oh, fuck. It's stuck in my ears. Oh, fuck. All right, guys. I figured out a way to wear my headphones and the ears at the same time. Let's go. Hey! Anyway, I left for Spain like 2 weeks ago. I was in Spain for a full 2 weeks. And the whole thing was like, my boyfriend, he was going for a grad trip and none of his friends could go with him. So then he invited me to go. But our schedules didn't really line up. I had a wedding I had to go to. So it ended up being where I solo traveled for a week and then I met up with him in Spain and we traveled together for another week and then I left. So that's kind of how it worked out. And getting into it, like, first I had to wake up at the crack of dawn, like 5 a.m. And guys, there is nothing worse than having to go to a flight early in the morning. And it kind of like, you kind of forget when you book a flight that, like, you're not going to be leaving at that hour, like, at that time you booked. You have to keep in mind that you're going to probably have to wake up 3 hours before your flight. So, like, me booking a fucking 6 a.m. flight, I'm waking up at the crack of fucking dawn, you know, and then I have to go. It's so exhausting. And not to mention, like, oh my God, this fucking bell. Oh, that's going to annoy me. It's going to annoy the fuck out of me. I'm going to zip this down a little. Keep in mind, I was budget traveling, right? Like, I am not rich, but we're manifesting. Hopefully that comes one day where I can, like, travel luxuriously, which actually, after this trip, low-key, I'm like, next thing I travel to, next place I go to, it's going to be a luxurious travel situation because so far, this is my second, like, I mean, I feel like every time I travel, I kind of have to rough it because I'm fucking broke and I have no money. And that's just how it be in this economy. So it's like me crashing at friends' places, me staying in hostels, me booking the cheapest flight on Google Flights. I'm always on that budget traveling vibe. Anyways, so I make it to my flight, and this was my travel days. Oh my God, I'll get into it, but my traveling days were hell throughout this entire trip. Especially like my first day, I booked a flight to Barcelona. So it had a layover, and then I had to go to Barcelona. Or actually, yeah, to Barcelona. But the thing is that I was meeting up with my boyfriend in Barcelona. So while I was flying to Barcelona, I needed to go to the south of Spain because I was going to travel south of Spain by myself. And I ended up booking a completely separate flight once I land from that, like, my Barcelona flight, immediately to go to a flight to Sevilla, which is in the south of Spain. And that was really being risky because I was dropping $100 on that. But also, it doesn't guarantee that I'm going to make that flight because I gave myself some leeway time. Like, I booked the flight 3 hours after I was supposed to land, but I was kind of just hoping and praying that I would actually make it onto my flight. Because I don't know if this all makes sense, but because if my first flight got delayed, I'm missing my other flight. You know what I'm saying? And I also didn't know how customs worked. Like, I didn't know if it's going to take a long time for me to get to my second flight. So I only gave myself like a 3-hour leeway. And like, anyway, so my first layover, it was in the Washington, D.C. airport. And I don't know why, but the Washington, D.C. airport had Aki vibes. Like, I felt, for some reason, the vibes of my travel days just were not amazing. This one specifically in this airport, it was fucking gigantic. I had to walk so far to get to my next gate. And then just like the people there, everyone's vibe was just like a little off to me. And not to mention, okay, I went to this restaurant because I was starving and I ate nothing. So I was next to this restaurant because it was next to my gate. It was the only restaurant. It was like a bao place. It was like a Chinese bao place. And I was like, you know what? There's a long line. Let me stand in line here. Let me get myself a little food. Like it looks good because like everyone's in line, right? Like it must be good. Pull up. I ordered teriyaki chicken. There's no pictures, by the way. I'm like, you know what? Give me a teriyaki chicken. Also, I'm seeing they don't even have a fucking kitchen. Like they're not even fucking cooking the food fresh. Guys, the food is in like metal Tupperwares and they're scooping that shit out and putting it, and not like a Panda Express tease, okay? It's not giving Panda Express, it's giving like pop-up. It's giving like, oh, this is like music festival restaurant shit. Like this is like music festival food booth. Like that's what it's giving. And you're like a restaurant at an airport, you know? So anyway, seeing that, you know, I wasn't being too judgy. I was like, you know what? As long as the food's banging, I don't give a fuck if it's not fresh. Like as long as it's warm and good, like I don't care. So I was like, give me that teriyaki chicken. Thank you, love. I get the teriyaki chicken, open it. Immediately, it's like, it looks disgusting. Like, it's like the smallest amount of chicken. It's giving it. I was expecting like this nice glazed teriyaki chicken given like Panda Express. Nah, it was given like they shredded up some chicken, threw some teriyaki sauce on that shit, and threw it on a big pile of rice and was like, here you go, here you go. And you know what? I wasn't, and also you could see it because there was this Asian girl that was kept staring at me, and I was like, why does this girl keep staring at me? And I ended up talking to her later on, and she was like, oh, like, I just saw your reaction on the food, and I just could see your disappointment in the food. And, like, I ordered the food here, but after I ordered, I looked up the reviews, and it was too late. Like, I saw the reviews were so bad, and I was like, you know what? Sometimes you just gotta, and this was my response, sometimes you just gotta eat something, you know what I'm saying? Ha ha ha. But in reality, she was so right. Like, she could totally see in my face. I looked so disappointed. And also, in reality, what she was really seeing wasn't disappointment. It was me examining my food to see if there was peanuts in it, because low-key it looked like there was peanuts on my food. And we're gonna get into it later on. You'll see I have another peanut story later on in this video, unfortunately, and if you don't know, I'm fucking allergic. Anyway, it looked like there was peanuts in this teriyaki chicken, so that's really why I was examining the food a lot and stuff like that. And then I come up to this lady, I'm like, is there peanuts in this? Sorry, haha. And then she was kind of like, there's no peanuts in that. Also, you should have told me if you were allergic, blah, 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 blah. So yeah. And also, like, she wasn't necessarily rude to me, but there were other customers where this lady was just, like, being so rude to the customers. Some people just left. Like, it was kind of crazy. And, like, the whole vibe in this DC airport was just low-key not great and awky, and it was really weird. And then moving on. And then also, guys, I recently got a credit card. I got the Capital One credit card. And that it's like the travel credit card, and you get a lot of benefits from it. And one benefit that you get from it is lounges. You have access to lounges. And now I've never really understood lounges. Like, why do you need a lounge at an airport? And oh, let me shut up because now I understand. Now I understand why you should have a lounge, especially if you travel a lot and you have like really long layovers. Like a lounge, yeah, a lounge is nice. And I didn't really know, like, signing up for this credit card, I mostly was signing up because it had a lot of, like, benefits, like, when it comes to the amount of points you make and stuff like that. That's why I was signing up for them. I wasn't really necessarily signing up for the lounge, but I was like, you know what, like, a lounge? Yeah, that sounds nice. So, usually when I pull up to an early flight, guys, I am disgusting. Like, I wake up, I don't do nothing but brush my teeth, okay? I'm not washing my face. I'm throwing on my clothes, brushing my teeth, and I'm heading the fuck out because I'm not going to wake up hella early just to, like, do all that shebang. Even though I'm just going to... So, like, if you ever see me in an airport, I'm going to look like shit. Always. Always. Especially if it's an early flight. Also, guys, the government's shut down right now, and I really don't know what's going on with that when it comes to, like, airports and stuff. I heard that the TSA lines and stuff are hella long right now, and I do not yet have TSA pre-check or the... What's the one where you can, like, international version of that? Global Pass. I don't have that yet. I applied for it, but I do not have it yet. And low-key, I'm scared because I have a flight next week and I'm scared. But what I was saying, I really love the Sacramento airport because you can get by hella fast. So I went in and it was hella early, right? And I obviously didn't eat breakfast because it was so early. Go into a lounge. Okay, this was the first time I was able to like go into a lounge because I had the credit card. I was like, yeah, let me in, please. Let me in. Let me in. And they let me in. Y'all, they had food. They had food. They had breakfast, and not just like a little. They had eggs. They had like sausage. They had potatoes. They had yogurt bowls. I was like, oh, so this is how y'all living. Oh, so this is it. This is the vibe. I'm like, oh, I get it now. I was able to have a breakfast for free at the airport in the morning, and I was like, wait, I feel luxe. I feel luxe, and being able to sit in there with all the other people who are kind of like rich, I'm like, I feel luxe right now. Now that came to bite me in the butt though, because I was in Barcelona. Okay, I finally landed in Barcelona. Okay, and I was waiting for my flight to Sevilla. I make it through. Low key, the process to get into Spain was so like they barely even checked me. They were like, "Okay, go." I'm like, "Oh, that's it. That's it." Oh, okay. Y'all do it different than the U.S. because the U.S. They zipped up. But they just let me through. Like, yeah, here you go. I was like, okay, period. So I got through really fast. So then I ended up having to wait like 3 hours, right? So I was like, you know what? I have a few hours. Let me find a little lounge. So I went and when I found a lounge, got myself set up. That lounge was nice. The Barcelona lounge that I was in, hella nice. It's the one upstairs in the D gates, if y'all know what I'm talking about. That one's really nice. So I went in, got in, snacked up. They have bottles, like glass bottles of sodas, juices. I'm like, I'm having the time of my life. Okay, I'm getting some editing done as well because I'll be on that work grind even on vacation mode. And here's the thing about Spain and just Europe, like transportation in general. They don't show your gate until maybe like an hour before your actual flight. So you don't really know where you're supposed to be until an hour before. So since I was there a few hours before my flight, I was like, okay, I don't have to check the board yet. Like my gate's not up there yet. I don't know where I'm supposed to be yet, so I'm just gonna chill. But then time passes, right? And now it's an hour before my flight, and I still don't see anything. I still don't see my flight. I don't see it, like the gate number popping up, and I'm like, okay, that's interesting. Maybe it's gonna be like 30 minutes before boarding or something. Maybe that's it. So I'm like waiting longer. And here's the thing, I'm in the lounge, okay? I'm in the lounge. All right, I'm sat back. I'm working. I'm editing. I'm. Oh, whoa! That looks like a fucking falcon outside. That's a giant ass bird outside right now in my backyard. What the hell? That looks like a full-on like falcon or something. That's crazy. Anyway, I'm munching on my little teas, drinking my peach juice. Come get your juice. And I'm distracted, okay? I'm in the luxuriousness of it all. Think Percy Jackson, the lotus flower scene. Like, yeah, that was kind of me. So I get distracted, and then I realize, oh shit, 10 minutes until boarding. And by the way, I'm at a big ass airport. The Barcelona airport is big. So I have to go up to like the lady at the lounge, and I'm like, hey, like, I'm flying here. It still doesn't say my gate. Like, can you help me out? And she's like, yeah. And she tells me, she's like, oh, it's at gate B. So you have to go downstairs and go to gate B. And I'm like, oh fucking shit, because I'm in gate D. So I'm like, okay, let me get out of here. Let me bounce. So I quickly pack up all my things. I go, and I'm on the upper level. Like, I went straight from like security and stuff to going to the upper level of the airport. And I couldn't figure out how to get downstairs. Like, downstairs was where gate B was. So I'm like walking around this entire upper level, trying to figure out how to get down. There's not an escalator in sight. There's not an elevator in sight. I'm like, how the fuck am I supposed to get down there? I'm so confused right now. I like walk across this entire airport, and I'm like, what the fuck? And at this point, I'm starting to speed walk because I'm like, okay, like this is getting out of hand because I have 10 minutes till boarding. Like I'm gonna be fucking late. And if I don't figure this out, I'm gonna fucking miss my flight. So I'm trying to like talk to this worker, and I'm like, hey, like, gate B, and he didn't know English, so I was just kind of like, gate B, I'm like, is it down there? And it didn't seem like he knew where it was. So I was like, B is downstairs? And he's like, yes. But like, he couldn't really tell me how to get down there. Like, he didn't tell me that. So I was like, okay. So I walked back the other direction I was going. And at this point, I'm like, am I allowed to like go back down to my security? Because here's the thing, like there was stairs to like go down to back to the security area I was at, but it had like a big red sign on it. So I was like, oh, I just assumed I can't go back down there. And also, I'm at an airport. Okay, it's strict up in here. Okay, I'm not trying to get arrested. Okay, but then I just that was the only option. That was the only fucking option. So I'm like peeking my head down there. I'm like looking out. I'm like, am I allowed down there? I don't know. Because again, I don't want to get in trouble. Airport people are fucking scary. I see a lady coming up and I'm like, oh, am I allowed to go down? Like, she's like, oh yeah, gate B's down there. I'm like, okay, bless up. Go down there, get through security again, go to gate B. And this is when I realized, oh fucking shit, my gate is so far. And at this point, boarding has already started. And I'm starting to stress sweat. So I am I'm like, it's so embarrassing. It's so embarrassing. I think there's nothing more embarrassing when you have to sprint through an airport to make it to your gate. So fucking embarrassing. Like, there's nothing more embarrassing. Like, I hate that. I hate having to run through an airport. I just like, even though low-key it is serious because these flights are hella expensive, but in my head, I'm like, it's really not that serious. Like, why am I sprinting right now? But honestly, guys, I was sprinting. I was fucking running because boarding already started. My gate was hella far away, and this is like a big airport, so it took me at least 15 minutes to get there. Like, I was like fucking running. And you guys know what? I did all that running just to show up to my fucking gate and have to wait in line like a chump. Yes, I show up, and literally, there was still so many, like, it's like no one even fucking boarded. Like, that's how full it still was outside. And then me sweating, having to take off my goddamn sweater because I'm sweating because I just ran across the airport just to show up to my gate and have everyone still trying to get on the plane. How embarrassing is that? And also, at that point, like, the flight should have already almost taken off. So I was very confused. I was asking around. I'm like, are y'all going where I'm going? And they were. So I just ran across the airport for no reason. Yeah. Ran across the airport, sweating, beating sweat, like sweat dripping down, armpits a little wet. For no reason. Embarrassed myself for no reason. And I should have known just because I feel like, Spanish culture, everything's a little late. I feel like everyone's just always sleeping. I should have known that it was just going to be like that. But like, I don't know. Usually I feel like airports are like on tip top, on schedule, at least in the US. So like, I thought I was going to be late. I should have been late. Like, I should have been the last person to board the plane because no joke, I only got there a few minutes before the flight was supposed to take off. So anyway, that was kind of my whole traveling, getting to Spain thing. And I'm not even going to lie to you, like that travel day really took me out because I think it was really that flight to Sevilla, that last 2-hour flight really took me out because I was already traveling for like a while. I don't even know how long, just a long ass time. Okay. And then I had to do that 2-hour flight and it really took me out. I remember showing up to my hostel and I was just so dead exhausted and all I wanted to do was sleep because I did not sleep on the plane at all because I was in the middle seat because me being my cheap ass, I didn't want to pay to pick my seat. And then by the time I was like, oh fuck, maybe I should pick my seat. This is a long ass flight. Everything was already booked up. So then I was stuck in the middle and for some reason I couldn't fall asleep. It was really weird because I am usually the type of person that can sleep on an airplane right away. But I think because I was in the middle seat, I couldn't really do that. And I had my like big ass like airplane pillow that you like blow up and that still wasn't really working out for me. I think my bones are just a little too brittle to be doing that nowadays compared to last year. I was able to sleep anytime, anywhere, any position. But there was something about this year and this flight that I couldn't do it. So yeah, that's why I'm saying next time I'm traveling, I'm gonna like drop the big bucks low key to like travel luxuriously next time because this time around it just wasn't super enjoyable for me. Like I just didn't want to rough it all the time and like specifically with flying. Like, I should have at least spent the extra money to like pick my seat and make sure I have like a window or an aisle seat, you know? So I just like watched movies the entire time. Anyway, moving forward, I got to Spain and I went to, in the south of Spain, I went to Sevilla and I also did multiple day trips. I went to Cadiz. I went to Malaga, Nerja, which was my favorite. I loved Nerja. It was so nice. And then Granada, and then I went to Madrid, and I went to Barcelona. Now, immediately landing in Spain, right when I got into my hostel, got into my room, there was someone in the hostel. It was an Italian dude, and immediately I'm greeted with a, "Where are you from? Are you Japanese?" So let's talk about this because I knew this was gonna happen. I knew this was gonna. I've been in Europe before. I knew this was gonna happen, and like I've mentioned this previously. Let's talk about these microaggressions because I remember I mentioned this in the past in other videos about how like I get the ni haos and stuff when I'm in Europe, and then I get these comments from people who live in Europe or live in these countries that I'm specifically talking about, and they're always like, they're just being nice, and I'm like, no, bitch, that's a fucking microaggression, okay? Like, why are you automatically assuming? Like, especially when people are like, ni hao, konnichiwa, like, why are you automatically assuming, like, I speak those languages? You know, like, why aren't you assuming, like, oh, I can speak English or I can speak this language? Like, why are you automatically assuming these things? These are microaggressions. It's not good. It's not normal. It's not being nice. Even if it's being nice, it's wrong. And honestly, it gets really annoying because it does happen a few times. At least last time I was traveling abroad, it happened to me so many times where I just got so annoyed. And this time around, I wasn't letting that shit slide. Like every time someone was like, "Where are you from?" But I knew where they were going with it. I was just like, "California. Hey, I'm from California." Also because low-key, I don't want to be like, "America." Like I feel like being from California, that is a little bit better and a little bit different. I was getting a popsicle on my first day in Malaga. I was like, you know what? Let me treat myself to a little sweet treat, right? And I go to this booth. And the guy's like, "Ni hao," and I'm just like, "Hola, hey, what up?" I will say, on this trip specifically, I didn't get too many of those type of interactions, those ni haos, konnichiwas, and where are you from type interactions. For the most part, I think it was pretty, like, I only a handful of times. And also, I do understand that the where are you from's is pretty natural and normal, especially when you are in a hostel because everyone is from different places. But I think when people specifically are like, "Oh, I thought you were Japanese," because I got that a lot. They're like, "Oh, I thought you were Japanese," which by the way, I'm not even fucking Japanese. I'm Vietnamese and Chinese, but people are like, "Oh, I thought you were Japanese." Like I think that added on to just the where. Like if it was simply where are you from, and I'm just like, "Oh, I'm from California," then they'd be like, "Oh, cool." Like I think that's a different situation than being like, "Oh, I thought you were Japanese." Or something like that. Or like, "Oh, how do you say hello?" Like I got asked, "How do you say hello in Vietnamese?" I'm like, also another weird interaction that I had kind of like related to my ethnicity is when I was checking out to my hostel in Sevilla, the guy was like, "Oh, Vung, that's like Vietnamese, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, it is." And he's like, "Oh, my crush is Vietnamese." And I was like, "What?" And he was like, "Yeah, my crush is Vietnamese." And I'm like, "Oh, cool." Like I thought that was kind of random that you mentioned that, but I'm like, cool, dude, like sick. And then he was like, "Do you have any advice?" And I was like, um, I don't know, like I'm American, so are they like Vietnam, are they from Vietnam or like what, you know, where are they from? And he was like, "Oh, never mind." And I was like, well, okay. Weird fucking question to ask in the first place, but okay. Um, I'm assuming his crush is actually from Vietnam, which is why he wanted to ask me that. AK, he was probably just assuming I was from Vietnam. But yeah, that was another really weird interaction where I was like, why would you even? Also, like, what? Even if I was from Vietnam, what am I supposed to say to that? Like, what? Oh, you need to do this. Like, every Vietnamese girl loves this. Every Vietnamese person loves that. I'm like, well, what? How was I supposed to react to that? Be like, "Oh yeah, you need to pull up with some. You need to pull up with some pho up to her doorstep." Yeah, like I genuinely, I don't know what he thought I was gonna say. Another thing that I found interesting on my travels was I didn't really run into any Americans, which was kind of crazy to me. Maybe because I went at the end of September / beginning October. My ears are like fucked up right now and it's kind of bothering me. Hold on, let me fix this. I barely ran into any American tourists, which last year when I went traveling, I ran into so many American tourists, but this time around, like, I didn't run into any. Like, for the most part, all the tourists that I was running into were like Chinese or from Spain. But I feel like I was like the only American ever around. Like, I never ran into any American tourists. And okay, before I get into this, let's talk about the pros of Spain. Okay, I want to start out with a positive note. Get that out of the way. Start in a good light. Here are the pros of Spain I wrote. Walkable, okay? I love a walkable place, okay? I love accessible public transportation. Now, I will say, there is no walking etiquette up in Spain, okay? They will full on just slam into you. Like, there's no walking etiquette at all. You will walk on the right side. You know how normally you're supposed to, like, walk on the right side so that, there's, like, clear pathways so that people don't be bumping into. Yeah, they don't have that in Spain, okay? It's kind of like a free-for-all. You kind of just walk, and then it's kind of just unorganized chaos. It's really hard to get around because everyone's always just bumping into you. You have to block. You have to whoa, 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 whoa. You have to like block people. Try not to run into people. Like, there's no walking etiquette in Spain, and like also, it's really annoying because you'll be full on walking. Like, it's kind of like everyone's walking. Then there'll just be one person who full on just stops. They just stop in the middle of the street. And then you have to like stop abruptly, walk around them. I'm like, why couldn't you pull over? Why are we stopping? I'm so confused. And I will say, I think for the most part, this is tourists. But also, I just feel like everyone's walking hella slow up in Spain too. But it was just so annoying to me when people would just stop in the middle of the street and be looking at their phone or something. I'm like, pull the fuck over. Like, if I am looking at my maps and I need to stop, I'm gonna pull over to the side of the road so that people can still go. Anyway, more pros. There's cheap alcohol, which is nice. Me and my boyfriend, we went to this place that had like frozen or slush sangria, which I know is probably like, I don't fucking know. People are probably judgmental about that shit. People are probably like, that's not a proper sangria, blah, 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 blah. I don't give a fuck. I saw that they had sangria slushes and I was like, I want that. So we went and got it. And yes, it was expensive, but compared to America, it was cheap. Okay. It was cheap. Like, I feel like the standard for like in Europe, alcohol is just usually cheaper. So people would be like, oh, that's so expensive. But to me, I was like, I'm American. This shit would be $20 up in the States. Okay. I'm drinking this. I want this. So I got me a little slush sangria, and like, I don't know, overall, like, I do like how the alcohol is cheap. Guys, I'm taking off these ears. They're just pissing me off. They keep on falling, and they're pissing me off. So I'm taking off these goddamn ears. I'm sorry. Oh my gosh, finally. Okay, we're free. We're fucking free. Anyway, and last pro, for the most part, everyone I met in Spain was extremely kind. Like, everyone was so nice. I had some really nice interactions. Yes, I had the few ni haos here and there, but I met a subscriber on the train. Shout out Julia. Her name is Julia, and she was really sweet. And also, we had this cute little interaction with this older woman on the metro. And for some reason, Eli's card wasn't working, even though he had like rides on there still. So then this lady was like trying to help him, and like this older lady was trying to help him test it out. And then she's like, you know what? You can come with me. So they like counted like 1, 2, 3, and they both went through the gate together, and they were laughing. And it was just like a really cute interaction. I just feel like overall, everyone I like ran into and talked to was really, really kind for the most part. Even when ordering food, like all the waiters were extremely nice to me. Now let's actually get into that. Let's actually get into ordering food in a foreign country's language, because that is a humiliation ritual. Because I will pull up to a restaurant in Spain, and also let's kind of talk about like serving culture in Spain and like restaurant culture in Spain. Like, every time I walked into a restaurant, I was like, can I sit down? Like, can I sit here? Can I sit here or no? Can I sit here or no? Because you'll walk into a restaurant and you'll be standing there straight up for like 10 minutes. Like, is anyone is anyone gonna help me? Or like, no one's in here. Like, is anyone gonna help me? Or like, can I sit down? Or like, after a while of that though, of me like walking to restaurants and not like no one talking to me and like helping me and like me I kind of got the gist where I was like, okay, I'm just gonna sit down. I'm just gonna walk into a restaurant and sit down. Like that's just kind of what I'm gonna do. And that seemed fine. But there were also some restaurants where they told me to wait, and then they were like, then they came up to me and helped me, and I was like, overall, I just was very confused about the serving culture there. Like, are you just supposed to sit down yourself, or is someone supposed to seat you? I don't know. Also, a lot of times I'm like, is anyone gonna take my fucking order? That's another thing I was thinking about. I was like, is anyone gonna take my order, or like I don't know if I have to go up to you. Like the rules were very confusing because usually, obviously in the US, like you enter, someone's there and they'll like seat you right away, and then they'll like come up to you and be like, oh, would you like anything? But there were a lot of times where like no one would come up to me, and I'm just kind of like, what do I do? Can I order? What do I do? What's going on? I'm confused. Like there was this one time when I went to this bar, and like it's kind of like a more of a restaurant than just a bar. And I walked in and like no one greeted me or anything. So then I was just like, okay, I think I just sit down. So then I sit down at the bar, and then I'm looking at the menu, and I'm also like confused, like, cause no one was there, like no one was taking my order or wanted to take my order. So I was like, hello? I don't know. Like I was very confused. And then eventually I think I took my order. I was like, oh, and then I like showed him what I wanted on the menu. And he's like, okay. And then like for a while I was like, did he get my order? I was confused because I was very confused if like, obviously because there's a little bit of a language barrier, and this originally what I was going to say was like, I will order in Spanish, right? But then as soon as if they ask me a question back, like I will like pick out, I'm like, ooh, I want this, I want this, I want this, like me gustaría, like whatever. But if they ask me a question back, I'm kind of like, oh, what did you say? And then we just end up speaking in English anyway. So like I would try to speak in Spanish, but as soon as like, obviously I only know how to say like, oh, like how to say my order. But if they ask me, like, then they would ask me questions, or like, you know, they would talk to me more, and then I'd be like, oh shit, and then we'd end up having to talk in English. So then, yeah, that's kind of how it always went down every single time. But this time around, like, I didn't know if the person like took my order or not. Again, nothing was really clear. But then he gave me a drink, so then I assumed, oh, okay, like, I think he got my order. But after waiting for a while, I was like, where my food at, though? Eventually it did come, but it was just like, that happened a lot where like every time I entered an establishment, I was just kind of confused the entire time about like what was happening. And I think it's because also every restaurant was so different because some restaurants, they did serve us right away, and other restaurants, it was kind of like, I kind of had to like wait around to pick up on the vibes real quick and vibe check it a little bit. I don't know. It was just a very interesting experience. Okay, let's just get into it. Let's get into it because I have a little bit of controversy because I posted a little TikTok. I posted a little TikTok where I made this little joke about like, oh, Honest Greens, like surviving off Honest Greens in Spain or something like that. Which, if you did not know, Honest Greens is like a restaurant chain in Spain where they serve like, the food's fucking good, by the way. It's like fresh. It's like a protein with like salads and juices, and it's kind of like that healthy vibe. I want to say it's like Chipotle, but really it's nothing like Chipotle. I don't really know. Maybe it's like a Sweet Green, but like way better than a Sweet Green. Anyway, a little bit of lore breakdown if you guys aren't caught up. But basically, I posted this TikTok, and I got a lot of comments. Like, I got a lot of comments from people from Spain, or from Spanish people, being like, talking about tourists this, tourists that, blah, 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 eating at tourist restaurants. Like, we have the best gastronomy in the world, which, by the way, I did have to Google what gastronomy meant, because I was like, what the fuck is gastronomy? It's like cuisine, like best cuisine in the world. And they're saying stuff like, this is why we don't like tourists. Like, you guys are just like eating at tourist trap restaurants, not supporting local businesses. Like, eat local foods, blah, 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 blah. And now here's the thing. Like, I made that TikTok as a joke. Like, obviously, I was not eating at Honest Greens every single meal. I did eat at local restaurants. And I don't know why a lot of the comments were just automatically assuming I didn't eat at local restaurants. Obviously I did. I'm in Spain. I'm traveling to Spain. Obviously I'm gonna try local Spain foods. And honestly, here's just the truth to it. I personally wasn't fucking with the food in Spain. I'm sorry. I tried multiple different places, multiple different restaurants, all recommended by locals. And I just personally don't think I am a fan of Spanish food. It's just like not my thing. I feel like it lacks a little bit of flavor for me personally. It's a little bit bland for me personally, okay? Like I think I just have different taste buds. I don't know. Like I want some salt and pepper on my food. Is that so much to ask? I would like some herbs. Some herbs would be nice. Anyway, that's personally what I thought about the food. And also to be fair, this is how I felt about all the food I have tried in Europe, in Italy, in France, like all these places. I personally didn't really fuck with food, and I think just in general, the vibe is I don't like European food. That's just the vibe. Sorry about it. That's just my opinion. Sorry about it. Like I don't know. Like it's just everything to me was kind of whatever. Like I really tried. I was like, okay, maybe it's like the restaurants I'm trying. So I tried a few more, and just like all of it wasn't. I don't know. Like I think originally when I came to Europe, I was expecting all the food to be really good. So I came and I was expecting my life to be changed by the food. But really, in reality, the food was kind of like whatever. I don't know. Like I didn't really love food, and also I was like, oh my, like I don't know. Like also even with plain food, I think that's the thing. I would even like order like eggs for breakfast or something, and like there'd be no seasoning on the eggs, but then they wouldn't even give me any seasoning or any like hot sauce or anything to put on the eggs. So I'm straight up eating plain eggs with some bread, or even like I found that it was hard to even get like just like decent meals like that, like just a decent breakfast or like even like a yogurt bowl. Like I had a yogurt bowl in Spain and I was like, okay, this is not good. Like, can I get a little honey on this? Like, I don't know. It's just like, I guess it's maybe it's my taste buds. Maybe, I don't know, but I just think I don't know. Genuinely, I think maybe the ingredients, maybe it's the additives. Maybe I'm just used to all the additives and preservatives and I need that shit. But like when I was in Asia, I was fucking with the food. I was fucking with the food and I was fucking with their breakfast and I was fucking with their yogurt bowls. So like coming to Spain, getting this yogurt, but the yogurt like tasted odd. It tasted like nothing. And then there was like the fruit wasn't amazing, was kind of sour. And I was like, okay, like I don't know. I just feel like I'm not fucking with the ingredients up in Europe. Maybe that's it. I don't really, guys. I do not know. But like it kind of got like to a certain point where I was not only eating at local food, like eating at local restaurants, eating Spanish food, like everyone was recommending me these dishes, like, I don't know, what were they, like, paella, obviously, rijo, the tomato soup thing, the chilled tomato soup, the croquettes, like, I was trying all these foods, okay, and I wasn't really fucking, and it even came to the point where, like, when, in the beginning of my trip, I was only eating Spanish foods, and I was making this TikTok, because I wanted to film a TikTok where I'm, like, trying Spanish foods. So I filmed myself eating every single Spanish meal I had, and I did not post that TikTok because my reactions were so lackluster, and I didn't want to post that TikTok because I didn't want to like offend anybody, and I was kind of like, you know what, let me not post this TikTok because you could see me like eating the food and like trying to like be like, yum. But clearly I wasn't enjoying the food I was eating, so I just scrapped that video. But like I literally have proof of me eating at local restaurants, like eating Spanish food since the beginning of my trip. But I just didn't post it because like also I just feel like I have nothing to prove. It's kind of like my opinion, and y'all just need to suck it up. Because here's another thing also that like because I was in Spain, like I personally, I'm not afraid of saying my opinion of like, oh yeah, the food is bland here. I don't like the food here because it's Spain. I'm like, if it was any other culture, I'd probably be a little bit more sensitive about it. But because it's Spain, I'm kind of like, you know what? I really don't give a fuck. Y'all are colonizers. So I understand the whole problem with being a tourist and like, and like tourist culture and how it's affecting like the communities in Spain. But also, y'all are getting mad at tourists, but not getting mad at policies. Like, you change the policies. You're policymakers. Like, make that change. Don't blame the people who are like coming. I also think it's different when a POC tourist comes in versus like a white American tourist. I think that's very different. And I also think a lot of it is racism, which, by the way, I got a lot of racist comments in that TikTok talking about like eating dogs and shit like that. So I don't think people being Spanish and then leaving those racist comments, it's not really looking too good for y'all. Okay, it's not looking, with your history, it's not looking too good. And another thing, restaurants, it's hard to find a good restaurant in Spain. And in that TikTok, y'all can go look at the TikTok. In that TikTok, everyone's like, eat at local restaurants, eat at like local foods. It's not that hard, blah, blah, blah. Not a single one of those comments suggested a restaurant. So, by the way, guys, I was staying in a hostel, and I was not, I was still a tourist, but I was staying in a hostel. I wasn't staying in an Airbnb. I was eating at local restaurants. I was supporting local restaurants. Like, I was doing the best I could as a good tourist. A lot of Spanish restaurants, a lot of local restaurants in Spain are gatekept from tourists. So there are a lot of tourist trap restaurants. But I think to get mad at a tourist going to a tourist trap restaurant that's meant for them, that's meant to entice them, that is accessible, that's a bit unreasonable. If you really wanted tourists to go to local restaurants, I feel like you would promote it more instead of just setting hatred. Like, all the comments I was getting was just spitting hatred, but not actually suggesting restaurants to go to, good restaurants to go to. And like, another thing I noticed is like, I was like, okay, like, let me try to find more local restaurants, even though I was already eating at local restaurants. You have to do so much research just to find a good restaurant. Like, I was scrolling through Reddit, and then after I found like a restaurant that was like, oh, I've been living in Spain for 30 years and this is my favorite restaurant, then I would have to go to that restaurant, look at other Reddit pages, reviews, and make sure it was good and make sure it was a local thing. And then I had to look at the actual reviews on the actual page. And I felt like a fucking hacker hacking into the mainframe. That's how I felt every time I needed to eat at a restaurant. It was exhausting. And I don't think you should have to extend that much energy just to find a bite, just to find some food to eat. Like, I don't think that is a reasonable thing to do. So to just simply Google restaurant near me and go to the nearest restaurant that is well rated, I don't think that's unreasonable. And I think if like these comments and these people actually wanted the person or me to experience more local cuisines and stuff, they would have actually suggested restaurants, but instead they were just spitting hatred. And I found that really, really something. And also, it got to the point where like even highly rated restaurants weren't good. Like, I was dropping a lot of money on a meal and the food was not good. So then it kind of came to the point where like straight up I was like, okay, like obviously I'm just not fucking with the food here. I'm only going to go to cheap restaurants, because why am I going to spend a lot of money on food that I think is just going to be not good anyway? And I even got to the point where I started just going to the grocery store and I just bought bread, cheese, and ham, and I just started eating that. Because I was like, you know what, like, this is like honestly probably better use of my money. And also, like, I think in general, it's just the fact that I was in Spain. Because I posted this like TikTok of me showing like some things I bought in Spain, and like literally there was so many petty comments from people from Spain. And I'm like, what is the problem? What is going on here? Like, there was like a comment. Okay, literally I showed like this lighter that I bought, right? And I was like, okay, I got this like cool little silver lighter out of Flea for like €2. Like, it's cool. And then someone left a comment that's like, yeah, the thing about lighters is that, they get stolen, so you're probably gonna lose it. Like, what? Like, why would you even say that? I'm like, okay, I might lose it, but why you gotta... It's like people like wanting to spit hatred for no reason. Or like another thing was like, I bought this little like tile coaster. I'll show you guys. It's right here. I bought this little tile coaster from a store in Sevilla. It's like that, I don't know what it's called, but it's that store that sells like local products, like artists. They have some like artist stuff in there and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, like I got this little tile like from this store, it's supposed to be like local artists in Spain, like supporting, yay. And then the comment was like, I don't think that towel is handmade. And I'm like, bitch, did I say it was handmade? I just said I bought it from the goddamn store. How am I supposed to know if it's handmade? I don't know. All I know is I bought it from a local store. Okay, that's all I know. Okay? And like, it's just like things like that where I kind of was like, at this point, I'm like, low key, y'all are branding yourself like you're Parisians. Honestly, you know how everyone's like, oh, like French people are like the most annoying European country. Like, you know, because I feel like French people get a lot of shit. Just because, you know, they're known to be like mean and stuff. And like, I don't know, I just feel like they get made fun of a lot on the internet. Dare I say, Spanish people might be there too. Spanish people might be on that, might get onto French Parisian level. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if eventually they'll start getting shit on exactly how French Parisians do. And then it was our last night in Spain, and I was like, you know what? I'm getting all these comments, and I'm a type of person that like I personally don't really get affected by hate comments a lot. But a lot of these comments were like, eat at local restaurants and stuff like that. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna go to a local restaurant. Okay, I'm gonna do hella research to try to find a good restaurant, a highly rated restaurant. So I was, again, like I said before, I was like hacking the fucking mainframe, having to do all this research just to find one goddamn good restaurant. Because, like I was saying before, if you look up a restaurant, what I noticed in Spain is like, you'll look up restaurants, and even if it's highly rated, don't trust it. Do not trust, even if a restaurant is highly rated, do not go in there thinking the food's gonna be good, because it's kind of a 50-50 chance that the food's gonna be good. Because what I noticed is that, like, I think the taste buds of like Spanish people versus like any other country is different. So like I would be reading reviews, and if it was like highly rated, but like a lot of Spanish people were like reviewing it, then I kind of was like, okay, there's a chance I might not like this food, which sounds fucked up, but it was true. I was kind of like, I just think I have different taste buds than what people are suggesting to me, because like I feel like every time I got a restaurant recommended to me, I went there and I was kind of like, okay, like it's fine. And then you know, another comment that I saw was like, oh, like, it's, you know, our food is just so good quality, it doesn't require seasoning. That's a comment I saw, and I was like, that's actually kind of crazy to say that. Because no matter how high quality a food can be, a meat, a protein can be, you still got to throw some seasoning on there. You still got to season that thing. Because, like, even if you got, I don't fucking care if you extracted fucking a steak from gold, you know, you got to throw seasoning on that steak or it's not going to be good. Sorry, like personally, like I like a punch of flavor. Also, I wouldn't be as confident saying this shit if like everyone I talked to did not say the same thing. I think everyone's kind of scared to like speak out and voice this, but it's not like I'm the first person to say this. A lot of people have said this. And then I was like asking people around me where I was like, have you guys had good food here? Like, do you have any recs? And they kind of were like, it's been 50-50. Like, you have no idea how many people I ask for, like, food recs and if they like the food here. You have no fucking idea. Because, like, compared to America, you can Google food near me. And if you just pick a restaurant that is highly rated and you go there, you're going to get some good, decent food. Like, you're probably not going to be disappointed if it's, like, a highly rated restaurant. You're going to go. But what I noticed in Spain was, like, the high ratings didn't even matter. Like, even if a restaurant, like, every restaurant was highly rated. Even if I went to a highly rated restaurant, it still wasn't amazing. And then I went to, like I was saying, continuing back to my story, I went to, for my last meal, I was like, let me go to like a nice restaurant. I went to a nice restaurant, no joke, had to spend like $45 on a meal. I was like, okay, like as long as the shit's good, this shit's apparently really good. And like I read a bunch of reviews, I read the Reddit pages, this restaurant is supposed to be really good. Okay, we got some paella, we got all this food. There was a little bit of a language misconception because my boyfriend Eli, he could speak Spanish, but like he's not perfect at it, obviously. So when we were ordering there, like we were only speaking in Spanish when we were ordering. And so I think, I don't know, like there's some confusion with the language barrier and we ended up ordering more food than we needed. And then we ended up eating a lot of snails because our paella had snails in it, but then we also ordered a separate meal with snails in it. So we kind of were like, oh, like, okay, I guess we're feasting on snails. And even on that restaurant, while the food, okay, this time I will say this restaurant, because we spent a little bit more money, the food was decent. It was pretty okay. Now, will I say Was it the best meal of my life? No. Was my life changed? No. Would I want to eat there again? Probably not. But it was decent. The food was decent. I was like, okay, like this is edible. Like, okay, come on, come on. But the fact that I spent $45 on my meal and I wasn't like blown away, like I expect if I'm spending that much on just one singular dish, I should be blown away. But I wasn't. Sorry. I will say the snails were good. But another thing about like Spanish food is like a lot of the food is in other cultures. Like there's a big seafood like thing in Spain. And obviously in Asia, there's a big seafood thing as well. Or like in France even, like with snails specifically. I liked the snails, but it was just snails. Like I can't really say like snails is Spanish food because snails are a big part of a lot of cultures. French culture, like I had snails in France, I had snails in Vietnam. They tasted just as good or honestly even better. And I think that's another thing is like every time I had seafood in Spain, I kept comparing it to seafood I've had before in other countries. And then I'd be like, oh, like, okay, this is like decent, but like I don't know, like the seafood I had in Asia was seasoned. I don't know. And like I tried churros and like the churros were good. I will say I had churros, they were good. But the churros I had, I was like, oh, I wish there was like a little bit of cinnamon sugar on this dough. Cause like for some reason the churros I don't know if that's like normal not to have cinnamon sugar, but it's like the churros that you dip in chocolate. The chocolate wasn't even sweet though. The chocolate wasn't sweet. And I kind of wanted the chocolate to be sweet because there's no cinnamon sugar on my churro. And I was like, oh, damn, like I wish there was at least cinnamon sugar on my churro because this chocolate isn't even sweet. And I'm like, how is your chocolate not sweet? I feel like every single thing I tried, no matter if it was salty or sweet, no matter what dish it was, there was always just something missing. Like there's always just a punch that I needed in the flavor. And I don't know. So then eventually, after that whole fiasco, you would understand. Of course, I might eat at Honest Greens here and there because it was pretty good. It had fresh veg. It had seasoning. Like I was like, this is good. And, I ate at TKO Tacos a few times. I ate some tacos a few times, and that's not Spanish food, but dare I say it was one of the best meals I had while I was in Spain. Dare I say, yes, Mexican food. Also, I think in general, I'm just kind of everywhere, but paella. I don't think I like paella. It kind of just tastes like wet. Like, it kind of is like on that porridge vibe. It tastes like wet rice. And I don't think I really fuck with paella. Because that was like maybe my third time having paella. And I was like, oh, like... And I was at that expensive restaurant for my last meal. And I was like, oh, like, I don't think I'm fucking with this. But because of the language barrier or like the confusion, we accidentally ordered more food than we wanted. So, but honestly, that was a blessing in disguise because we ended up ordering this like black rice seafood dish, and I'm pretty sure there was like squid ink in it that made it black. I'm not really sure. There was definitely squid in the dish, and low-key I was fucking with that. So I'm kind of glad that like we had that miscommunication with the order because yes, while we had so much food and we weren't able to finish it all, low-key I was fucking with that, and I was like, okay, I'm glad we have this because I'm not fucking with that paella. Because we ordered this, like, I also even took suggestions from, like, the comments. Someone suggested you have to have real paella that has, like, green beans or, like, asparagus or something and rabbit in it. And I'm like, okay, period. We went to this restaurant and, like, a lot of restaurants actually only have seafood paella, which apparently is not real paella. So I'm like, okay. So then I saw that they had the rabbit paella and I was like, oh, fuck, hell yeah. Like, we about to eat good. Because that local in my comments was like, you gotta get this paella with the rabbit in it. I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, let's order this shit. We ordered that shit. Baby, the rabbit was dry as hell. Dry? How is the rabbit dry when it was in this wet dish of paella? Like, the rice was wet, but somehow the rabbit was dry as hell. And I was like, and this specifically was a restaurant that was like on the Reddit page, it was like, where can I get the best paella? And they were like, this restaurant. And I was like, okay, period. Went there. Sorry, didn't fuck with it. It was just... But I did fuck with the snails. I'll give you that. Anyway, that's enough on that rant. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I offended any Spanish people out there. But, like... I don't know. I kind of find it odd that, like, we make fun of British people for their food all the time. And, like, we see those kids, like, trying American food for the first time and be like, oh my god, the flavor! But we don't really make fun of Spanish people for some reason. I don't know why. And, like, why not? They're also white. They colonized. But that's enough ranting about the food thing. Like, I'm sorry if I offended anyone out there who's Spanish, but you know what? It's just my opinion. Okay, it's just my experience, and honestly, I would be more cautious if like I was like the odd one out, but genuinely, I know there's a lot of people out there that agree with me. So sorry about it. Okay, I'm speaking my truth. And like I usually I'm the type of person that doesn't like too much beef. Like usually I would have probably privated that TikTok because it was creating a little bit too much controversy. But honestly, at that end of the day, I kind of was like, wait, this is not a fucking big deal. All I said was like, I'm not fucking with the food in Spain. So I kept that TikTok up because I'm like, if this is the most controversial thing about me, like this is pretty good. So I kept it up because all controversy is good controversy. Or not that. All publicity is good publicity. And also I think it's the fact that it is Spain that I'm talking about here. It's like with your history, it's kind of like I'm allowed to say this, actually. Especially when it comes to white people. I'm like, I'm gonna say this. Okay, so I feel like we're actually gonna be just talking about food this entire episode because honestly, that was like a big part of the trip, a big topic of discussion. Um, and so me and Eli, we ended up meeting up in Madrid. So we went to Madrid and we went to this cafe. And I knew the cafe wasn't gonna be good, but I was like, you know what, we gotta eat something. So we go to this cafe, highly rated, by the way. And we go into the cafe, we get our, we order a little food, and I order a chicken pesto toast. I'm like, okay, let me get a little chicken pesto toast. Let me get something with protein in it. Okay? Get a little chicken pesto toast. This is our first day in Madrid. Gets to our table. I'm like, yum, yum. Like, we got a little coffee. It was terrible. All the coffees I had in Spain were terrible. Sorry about it. But also, it's just a thing. Spanish, like, even like I got comments about that. I'm like, the coffee here is terrible. I'm like, yep, okay, heard ya. So I take a little bite of my toast. Okay, this is like a chicken pesto. I think there's avocado. I don't remember if there's avocado on it. I take a bite of the toast. Here's the thing. There were some brown little crunchies on top. There were some brown crunchies up in there, and I was like, okay, that looks interesting. Why is there brown stuff in my chicken pesto toast? Shouldn't it just be kind of like green? But in my head, I kind of was like, oh, okay, maybe it's like dried onions. Maybe it's like some seasoning, some dried onions. And I should have fucking known. I'm in Spain. Of course it's not going to be seasoning or dried onions. Of course it's not. You guys know what it was? You guys know what those brown little crunchies on top of my chicken pesto toast was? Yeah. It was peanuts. Yup. Took a bite of that shit. Instantly, I'm like, I'm allergic to something in this. So then I have Eli. I'm like, I'm allergic to something in this, Eli. Something's in this. Cause it also, by the way, didn't look like peanuts. Like it was like shavings or something. I don't know. It didn't look directly like peanuts. So then I tell Eli, I'm like, can you please ask them, is there peanuts in this? Can you please ask them, please? He goes up, asks them. The lady comes by and she's like, oh yeah, there's peanuts in that. Right. By the way, I'm allergic. If you did not know, people with peanut allergies, yeah, that's deadly. Yeah, we can die. That's deadly. Yeah. Right. And it was just so funny because she said it so. She's like, oh, yeah, there's peanuts in there. Yeah, there's peanuts in there. Maybe you should have let a bitch know. Because on the menu said nothing about peanuts. Like, I'm like, also, that's such a hazard. How are you going to just put peanuts willy-nilly in a meal and not say there's peanuts in it? What? And then maybe it's different in Spain. Maybe y'all don't got allergies like that. I don't fucking know. And also, who puts peanuts on a chicken pesto toast? What? I'm sorry, but that's some white people shit. What? Peanuts on a chicken pesto toast? I'm confused. So then immediately I'm like, I gotta go throw up. I go into their bathroom. No lock. There's no lock on their bathroom. I instantly throw up in their bathroom, which is rare for me. Every time I've eaten peanuts in the past, I don't really ever throw up. I can't really, like, I'll try to throw up and nothing really happens. This is the first time where I opened my mouth and I was just naturally able to throw up. Also, keep in mind, I haven't eaten anything all day. My stomach was completely empty. All I had was this one bite of toast I've had. So then I throw up. I feel a little bit better, but it didn't help because obviously I already ate it. So then I was still having the allergies. and I was just going through hell. And then I was just like bedridden. I was like hives all over, swollen, wheezing. I had an EpiPen on me, but we didn't use it because like I've never used an EpiPen before and I'm low-key scared of needles. So I kind of like just fight through my allergies and it's been fine. Like I'm able to breathe and everything. So like I just have to fight through it. I was bedridden. It was really terrible. Eli had to run out and try to find like the closest thing to like a Benadryl because they don't have fucking Benadryl in Spain. So then we had to like Google like what's an equivalent. And this is where I'm like really grateful where I have a nurse as a boyfriend because like I felt really taken care of. He knows like what he's doing and he was able to get me like the proper medicine and stuff like that, which was really nice as I was bedridden. Because in the past, this has happened to me when I went backpacking alone and I would have to go get the allergy medicine myself while I'm fucking swollen and red and hives and dying. So yeah, that kind of went down and then I was kind of just bedridden for a few hours. I felt like shit, was wheezing, and then I was like, I need to go throw up. And then I literally projectile vomit into the I don't even have to like make myself gag. I just open my mouth. I projectile vomit liquid up to the point where I was like suffocating myself because I was like projectile vomiting so much liquid that I couldn't breathe. So after I'd vomit, I'd be like gasping for air and then I'd vomit more. And also keep in mind, again, I had no food in my system. So that's why I was only throwing up liquid. Like I was just straight up throwing up water because I had no other food in. So yeah, that was my first day in Madrid. It was really lovely. Almost died, whatever. Chill, things like that. Now, I feel like I'm saying a lot of bad shit. Positive note, here's a good experience. Me and Eli, we went to a blues bar in Madrid that my friend Deborah recommended us. And that was a really great experience. I really loved that vibe. Like we went, it's like a popular blues bar. We were second in line. We literally showed up 30 minutes before they opened and we went in and it was such a good vibe. The drinks were expensive, but there was no entry fee. So like you're kind of just like paying for the show, you know? And I highly recommend it if you're in Madrid. It's called La Coquette Blues Bar. And there were so many people there. But I liked it because like they had multiple shows and they only let in a few people at a time. So it wasn't too packed inside. And so you can all see, like everyone can see. And it was just a really nice vibe. They had like sunflower seeds to snack on each table. And everyone would like sit together because it was a small enclosed space. So everyone would like share tables and stuff. And everyone was there, like really vibing with the music and dancing. And it was just overall such a good vibe. And the music was so good. And also for some reason, like I don't know why, but I just assumed like the music wouldn't be in English, even though it's blues music, obviously, and originated in the US. And like, I don't know, I just for some reason thought there wouldn't be singing or like they would just play the instruments or something. But they actually sang and it was all in English. And like, it was kind of nice to like be able to listen to music and like understand what they were saying. And like everyone was vibing. It was just a really nice vibe. And that was a really good date. And they had a really good Tinto de Verano. And yeah. Anyway, on Ox this week, we got the show Gen V. I never watched The Boys. I think that's the main show. I started watching Gen V. I love it. I love it so much. I'm obsessed with it. I'm going to finish the newest episode after I finish filming this episode of the podcast. I love Gen V. Hella good show. Also, random but car washes. I got a membership at Quick Quack and I could just like get a car wash whenever I want and I'm obsessed. Love it. Getting a car wash with fun lights, such a fun experience. Genuinely brightens up my day. Every Sunday, going to the car wash, being able to get my car clean, being able to like vacuum my car, get it all spick and spanny. I don't even know if that's the fucking word, clean. And also makes me feel really put together. I think there's like an omen about having, if you have a clean car, you have a clean life and you're setting yourself up success. Like that's kind of how I feel about having a clean car. And then lastly for Halloween, my Halloween movie recommendation, I watched Scooby-Doo Zombie Island, which I haven't seen since I was a child, and it was fucking amazing. It was the first movie I watched in October for the fall season, for the Halloween season. So highly recommend Scooby-Doo Zombie Island. Yep, amazing, banger, classic. And that's all. Thank you guys so much for parking your butt with me. Rate this podcast 5 stars and check out the Patreon if you would like extra content. Every week I do an extended 30-minute bonus episode of the podcast. We also have bonus videos on there and just a bunch of extra content if you want to check it out and show extra support for the podcast. Yeah, I'm really tired. This is probably a really long episode because I just had a lot to talk about. I didn't even get through all my talking points. I had to cut some stuff out because I just realized I've been talking for so long. Yeah, hopefully I don't get canceled for this episode because I feel like I said some controversial things, but honestly, they're my opinions and I'm sticking to it. But I love you guys. Thank you so much for listening. Thanks for parking your butt with me. I'll see you next week. Happy Halloween. Cataclysm. Oh wait, where's my ring? I had a ring on and I don't know where did I put it? Like this costume came with the ring. Oh, I think I put it over there. I don't know. Okay. Cataclysm. Cat out, claws off. Or claws on? I don't remember. Okay, I haven't seen the show in a minute. All right. Cat Noir out. Bye.